I'm John Deere from Adorable Ideas, and in this edition of Creative Digitizing Made Easy, we're going to teach you how to do 3D foam and fringe embroidery. Now these two techniques are amazing because you can add exciting three-dimensional effects to almost any embroidery project that you want to do. Now we're going to give you all of the instructions and values how to do them, as well as show you how to digitize some designs from beginning to end. We'll talk about finishing fringe, and it also is very easy to do. If you look at the first sample here, you'll see that right along the mane of the horse, this embroidery is turned upside down so the bobbin side of the design is showing. You can see that white area of bobbin thread. Now if you just take a pair of scissors and cut just the bobbin thread, when you turn it over and pull away at the actual brown stitching, it's going to end up looping. It's not going to fray because you haven't cut the actual thread, you've just cut the bobbin thread. If you go along and you trim right at the brown area when it's turned over on the back, and you can use a Peggy stitch eraser. These are meant for removing embroidery threads or stitches. This will actually come clear and start fraying afterwards. So after you've washed the garment a couple of times, you'll see that the fibers of the thread will have unraveled and they get softer and softer. So there's a couple of different ways to finish fringe. When we run our samples, I'm going to physically show you what the difference is. The trick behind foam is to make sure that every area around whatever object you're digitizing is perforated. You want to make sure that you have needle penetrations in all directions of the object so that it tears away. It's kind of like baking cookies. If you have a cookie cutter and the cookie cutter has a little notch out of it, so when you put it into the dough, then if you pull that dough away, it's not going to pull away cleanly. Same idea with foam embroidery. You have to have a shape that's cut out all the way around the edge. And all the fringe will stay consistent because I'm just hitting the one side. Now I'm all the way done, and I'll just go around the edge, make sure all of the stitches are removed. That side's done. Now we'll turn it over, and you can see the foam's still intact, so we're just going to lift up a corner, and it should pull away very easily. It looks nice and clean, and now we will just come into the inside, and I'll try to pick out a corner. Once I have a hold of a corner, I can pull the rest out, and you see it looks perfect. Now we're just going to fringe the edges, and they're all coming loose. And there we have a beautiful fringe and foam design.